Hey, what's up, everyone? Well, no one's there yet, but just getting everything set up for the video. Tried to do this on my computer again, but it did not work out the way I was hoping it would. So, going to continue trying to fumble around with things and see if I can get it to work. But right now, I'm going to have to stick with the camera on my phone. So, hey, it is what it is. Hey, Sam, what's happening? Welcome. You're the first person here. Hey, got someone else in. So, yeah, so again, sorry that I have to do it on my phone again. Apparently, you have to go through this whole entire process on YouTube, and with having my son and with everything that's going on, I didn't get a chance to really look into it. So, right there, yep, second. So, hopefully, we get more than two, but hey, it is what it is. But looking to have a good time. This is mainly going to be question and answer. So if anyone has any questions, please throw it out. I didn't get to go through all my comics for my comic load, so I'll probably have to post up that video sometime later this week. But yeah, been a crazy weekend. What's my favorite comic? Are you talking? Well, I mean, it's Batman. No matter what the answer is, Batman. Are you talking about individual storyline, or are you talking about ongoing series? Because that's completely different question. Um, but ongoing series is Batman. Favorite storyline of all time. That's a tough one, and I know it's not the most popular answer, but probably either Batman Hush or Batman Nightfall. I love those stories. On a side note, I know I did this last time. Series in general, then it's always Batman. Always Batman. Have I ever read Invincible? It's only on issue 52. I have not read Invincible yet, but I hear incredibly good things about it, so I might pick it up sometime in the future. Second baby's doing great. Thank you for asking. Right now, my wife is currently feeding him. Went out real quickly, got some Chipotle for me, and then got some food for her, and she's back onto sushi. So, what upcoming Batman books are you looking forward to the most? Um, I mean, I'm still interested in what Tom King's going to do with his run of Batman, but I'm really looking for Batman Damned, which is that new Black Label Batman story that's coming out, where Gotham is apparently all screwed up and Joker's on loose and all that fun jazz, and part of the Black Label series. So I'm actually really looking forward to that. But at Comic Con, I I had like a 5 minute conversation with Tom King, and I'm curious to see what he's going to do with Batman going forward. On a side note, I know I did this last time, and I didn't mean to do it this time, but I got another butter beer, Harry Potter butterscotch beer. Obviously, it's not real beer because I don't drink beer, but yeah, I was at the. We went out. There's a place called Market Street down where we live, and it has a bunch of fancy restaurants and all that stuff. My wife loves going there. They also have a candy store in they had this, and they also had the chocolate frogs, which I got the Albus Dumbledore card. So, pretty good stuff. But it was heinous last time. Maybe it's an acquired taste. Maybe I have to get used to this Harry Potter brew. A little bit better, but still pretty heinous. Actually, it's a little bit better. But yeah, let's see. Uh, Thoughts on DCY novels coming out next year? Andrew, I'm excited that the Black Label stuff. Also, the Three Jokers. Um, what's the DCYA novels? Talk to me about that. Can non-comic questions count as well? Of course it can. Throw out anything you want there. Except for politics. I will never talk about politics. That's my golden rule of thumb. I will. Oh, young adult. I don't know much about the young adult novels out there. Maybe you can enlighten me a bit more. But yeah, you guys can ask me anything. And again, because this is, I wonder if I can go like this. Okay. Um, because live chat, all messages in live chat. No, it doesn't show up. Top chat. Oh, here we go. Andrew, let's see. Three Jokers. Yeah, I'm pumped for the Three Jokers. I don't think it's going to be the thing that we thought the Three Jokers is going to be about. I don't think it's going to actually be three separate incarnations of the Joker. I think it's going to be the main Joker, and he has like disciples, I guess, offshoots. They're starting a Harley Quinn novel about her teen torn between gangs and something weird. Oh, these are the ones that are being advertised inside the actual comics. There's like a Batman one, there's a Wonder Woman one, there's a Harley Quinn one. I didn't give much glance to them, so I'm not too sure on them. But I don't have time for novels. Are you reading Doomsday Clock? I want to. So yes, I am reading Doomsday Clock. I do want to love it like you. It's okay, but we're 6 issues in, and I feel like nothing's happened, and Superman's barely shown up. I really wanted to see Superman versus Manhattan, but apparently continuity is going to be switched around a bit again after Doomsday Clock. At least that's what the writers are talking about. What are some of my favorite books? So if we're talking about novels outside of comic books, straight up books, Count of Monte Cristo. I love that book. It's a book that I read with my father that I'm very near and dear towards. I was actually huge into the Magic the Gathering books back in the day in the early 2000s. So the Brothers War and the Antiquity Saga, I was huge in. But most importantly, the Mirrodin stuff, the Moons of Mirrodin, that stuff was pretty huge. So I was into those. And Harry Potter books, of course, I like too. Let's check out the next question. Hi from Poland. Hey, from Poland. Do you like Poland? I do. I have never been to Poland, but I do want to go at some point because I've been traveling as much of the world as possible, so it would be on the list. I thought the 3 Jokers would be 3 different kind of personalities, kind of split. It's actually a good idea because Joker is hyper, like hyper insane or hyper sane. So it's possible that it could just be 3 minds in one body. That's actually a good idea. You're smart. Jeez, you should write comics. You should tell Grant Morrison how to do things. If you were given a chance to run a Bat book, who would be the creative team? Writer, pencils, and colors. Uh, that's tough. Because there's a Mount Rushmore of Batman writers and Batman artists, and certain writers go well with certain artists. So I mean, Grant Morrison's run on Batman has been probably some of the best, but Dennis O'Neil is what I always fall back in. Scott Snyder's always had a good voice for the character and really doesn't treat him like the Bat God, but treats him like he needs to get out of things. So I would have to go. Well, Jim Lee would be the artist because it's Jim Lee, right? It has to be Jim Lee. I know you just said Greg Capullo. I like Greg Capullo, but it has to Jim Lee. And I wouldn't mind seeing Grant jump on the book again. That would be pretty cool. I don't know if it would be my perfect team. Dennis O'Neil on there would be key. But I mean, anything with Jim Lee in there. I like Capullo, but I don't like him on Batman as much as I like him on other stuff. Let's throw out some of the other questions. Hey, bro, Sammy here. How's everything? Dude, everything's going great. Thank you for coming on. Does Heaven Sent Tread read any comics? Has my wife read any comics? She has sat down and I read comics with her. We've read Watchmen together. We've read The Killing Joke together. We read Batman Hush together. And then we started the New 52 Justice League, and she kind of done after that. I realized that she's not much of a reader in sorts of stories. Like I bought her books before, novels, and she's not into that. She's more of a direct kind of person. So she'll watch the movies and she'll enjoy the movies, but she hasn't really read the books. So yeah, it would be nice if she did, but it is what it is. Power of the Primes is Power of the Primes amazing or what? I haven't seen Power of the Primes yet. I haven't picked up any of the figures. I haven't done anything, but I've heard it's been fantastic. There's actually a YouTuber out there, I forget his name, that he does like a brief history of for Transformers. So it kind of got me a little bit back into Transformers to the point that I'm resetting up my room. So as you can see, I have my Beast Wars stuff here. I need to get my G1 stuff up there. So maybe I should do the tour of the room afterwards. If you guys want me to, just let me know. Let's see. Next question. Do you think Marvel will be publishing Buffy first comics after the Disney deal is possible? I think Buffy's comic stuff is going to basically get retconned out. I think all the comics are not going to count anymore because Joss Whedon's trying to start a new show. So with the new show is going to... They're going to do a Star Wars, I think, basically, where all the other stuff is legend stuff. And they're starting basically anew with a new generation, new Slayer. Have I read anything from Dynamite? I used to. Dynamite used to be one of my second favorite comics companies to read. I used to get all on that Red Sonja. I used to be about that Green Hornet. I used to be about a lot of things. But I haven't really jumped on Dynamite in a while now. Don't know why. I haven't really cared for the new Red Sonja stuff. Oh, and John Carter. I'm all about John Carter. That's another one of my favorite novels is The Princess of Mars. Good stuff. Let's see. When will be so Mrs. Cutter again will be on the video, perhaps a comic or movie review. So Mrs. Cutter will be jumping on a movie review with me for Patreon at some point. She's done the Batman Ninja, so that's on Patreon. I don't know. I don't think she's going to do Death of Superman because I downloaded it to my phone. I doubt she's going to want to sit through that. And I downloaded it to my phone when she was pregnant. Last few weeks of the pregnancy, she just was not up for like staying awake for anything. So, but after that, what we'll do is we'll probably jump onto the live action Batman movies. Speaking of which, if anyone cares or not, down at Patreon, I also posted up a history of Batman romances, right? With Selena, Talia, Silver, St. Cloud, Julie. So that's up there too. So shameless plug, I guess. Moving on. Next, let's see. Thoughts on Power Rangers anniversary trailer. I'm happy that Kat is back because she's my favorite Pink Ranger. I'm not surprised that Tommy's back because Jason DeFrank returns to everything. It's kind of cool to see him use the Black Ranger power because, yeah, it would be nice if he used Zeo, but it seems like every anniversary he's always throwing on a different color. I'm happy with a lot of things. That right, I don't want this to be taken the wrong way. I'm happy Steve Cardenas came back because I felt bad that he wasn't in Forever Red, maybe as in his ninja gear. But this is the thing that bothers me, right? He's as the Red Ranger. And normally that wouldn't bother me, but it's canonically that Jason has the power. So do they both have the power? Don't know. I prefer him to be Zeo Blue because Rocky was better as Zeo Blue for me than he was for Red Ranger. But yeah, it looks good. I'll pop in and watch it. I have only watched 1 or 2 episodes of Ninja Steel, mainly when the Gold Ranger gets introduced, because my son is on a Power Ranger kick. So he jumps back and forth between Mighty Morphin and Ninja Steel, which means I've been rewatching Mighty Morphin for like the 10th million time, which is great because it's campy as hell, but it's fun. It's very earnest. It tries to be so honest and true. Dynamite does the Dresden Files. Did not know that. Maybe I might get into it. Again, I have a backlog of comics that I need to catch up on. My boy Tommy's back. My theory is the new now every Ranger, as long as they cut the power source. Yeah, you know what? I was thinking that too. That every Ranger just has their power source and is copied, and I think that's pretty evident by the Legends War. But that brings into the question: does that mean that Jason also has the Gold Ranger powers, right? Does that mean that Kimberly and Kat both have Mighty Morphin Pink? What does that mean? So, but yeah, I think it would be cool if just everyone had everything, like the, I don't know, Zordon's Purification Wave or the Solaris, not the Solaris Knight. Which one was the Operation Overdrive Knight that turned into a sword, that turned into a battleizer? He brought back the Ranger powers, so yeah, I didn't keep the Golden Power Staff, so I don't think he does. And to be fair, the Gold Ranger powers were kind of killing him. Like, humans aren't supposed to have Gold Ranger powers. The Triforian powers were a little bit too much for him, so I think Jason would be dead. Which makes sense why he's not around. Maybe he just got the Gold Ranger powers back. He's like, I don't really want these, and then he just died. That's why Austin St. John hasn't come back yet. That'd be brutal. But yeah, no. No, but it would be cool, right? This is the thing. It would be cool if Jason did get the Dragon Shield, right? I know Tommy has it too, but he technically had the Green Ranger powers too, just coupled with the Red Ranger. So in my headcanon, that would be pretty awesome. Um, let's go. Hoping the rumors are true that Hasbro is continuing with the movie. Yes, it would be cool. It would be cool if it's the same actors too. Now listen, I was thinking about this. It'd be pretty solid if, like, in the next movie, and I know this is pretty crazy, right? In the next movie, they just kill the cast, right? Let's just go. Let's just say we fast forward a couple years. Tommy's already part of the team. We skip the Green Ranger saga, right? Zed shows up and kills all the Rangers. Kills Kimberly, Jason, Billy, everyone, right? Kills Tommy, everyone. Everyone's dead. New Rangers have to come out, and it's Rocky, Aisha, oh God, Adam, Kat. Tommy gets brought back to life because shit, you need a White Ranger, and sure, keep Billy alive. But it would be kind of cool. Maybe it was Billy that would do it. Let's see. And maybe they have the ability to tap into the morphing grid at any of the previous powers. Whoop, that went away too quickly. Yep. Tommy chose a different power for every day of the week. Yes, Tommy can basically be his own Ranger point. Yeah, I think it's just everyone has everything. I think at some point they just said, let's throw continuity out the window and let's just make everyone has everything. Like, I could tell you an elaborate reason on why Jason still has Power Ranger power. I could say, like, well, if you look at it in the episode where he transfers the power over to Rocky, like, he's still in the costume, whereas in the episode where Kimberly transfers over the power to Kat, she gives her the key, the coin, and she loses the power, and maybe the power is just copied, and you can make some elaborate thing based off that. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's just like, let's have everyone be around. It's all Gucci. Let's see. What's my stands in youth in Asia? Don't know. Sup, David Arquette. David Arquette. I've never been called David Arquette before, but I'll take it. This is my last junk food before I go back on my diet. When my son was born, my second son was born, my diet just went out the window, and I haven't really been good about getting back on it. But tomorrow, brand new day, that's when I start. Yes, he is a very sexy man. That is true. He is definitely a looker. He was Fred in Scooby-Doo, right? I thought it'd be cool at the end of the second movie that half the team dies and the other half loses their powers, and the three are introduced, and then Zeo. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Either way, I think it would be cool if they brought in the three replacements and Kat. Also, because the actors who are playing Jason, Kimberly, so on and so forth, are in their mid-20s, I think. So, am I voting Trump 2020? No politics. That's one of the only topics I don't talk about is politics. Because I know it causes fights. Oh no, it's not Dostoevsky's. You must have come in later. This is Harry Potter butterbeer. I don't actually drink alcohol, so this is the closest thing is butterbeer. I mean, they already have the Zeo crystals existing in the movie. Well, that's true. They did a good job with the missiles putting that in, so they can draw from it. Maybe that's why they did it, right? Maybe that's what you're trying to tell me right now. It's the fact that they had the Zeo crystal in there, so they're kind of setting up for the next movie. That would be pretty cool. But I love Zeo, right? I think we all love Zeo. Who doesn't? Except for maybe the helmets. I'm not a big fan of the helmets, but do you really think they'll go Zeo? I mean, the most marketable is Mighty Morphin, so I don't know if they'll tap into Zeo like that much. Okay. Do you believe Harry Potter is about to be LBGT theory? I don't know about that theory, so throw it at me. Don't know. But yeah, how much calories is this, by the way? 120. So yeah, what else? What else should we talk about? Should we talk about Comic-Con? Should I talk about all the people I talked to at Comic-Con? If you guys do, favorite movie of all time. Don't know. I used to say Return of the Jedi, but Star Wars kind of broke me quite a bit. Don't know, to be honest. I mean, of action, I'm gonna fall on Star Wars or Star Trek. First Contact, of course. But I mean, Good Will Hunting is a solid film. I love Clerks. That's a solid film. I just rewatched Schindler's List, which has. I mean, if you want to cry like a baby, watch the ending scene of that when he's talking about how he could save one more. That was brutal. So, not sure what my favorite movie is. I think I jump back and forth between movies to movies, and of course James Bond. Uh, Let me catch up on the comments. Um, let's see, which Black Ranger is it that you love? Let me know. Um, yeah, but they can sell different toys and redesign the Zeo. You know what? You're right. Power Rangers is all about toys, so it's definitely possible that they may bring that in. For the next movie because they need to sell new toys, or they can get around that by just introducing new costumes for Mighty Morphin, making it a little bit more TV show accurate. I mean, the comics right now are a huge hit, and the show's still around, so I don't see why they wouldn't want to go back to Mighty Morphin. Uh, Next question. My favorite movie is Spider-Man 1, 2, and Harry Potter the Goblet of Fire. Now, I agree with you. I'm not a huge Marvel fan, but Spider-Man 2 was fire, and I think it is, without a doubt, the best Marvel movie. Cheesy as all fuck, but definitely one of the best Marvel movies, and I don't think it gets as much credit as it deserves, because Tobey Maguire is like 42 in it, but the first two Spider-Man movies were solid as all hell. As for The Goblet of Fire, surprisingly, it's my favorite Harry Potter book, but it's actually the movie that I was irked by the most because so originally I never read the books, and then I watched the first four movies when they came out, and then I just stopped. And then I read the books, and what I did is I decided to read the books and then watch the movie afterwards, which is pretty bad idea. But I did it, and the first two movies were pretty accurate. The third movie was relatively accurate, one or two changes, and the fourth movie just changed so much of the book, and it was my favorite book too. So I should have probably waited before watching the movies, but that's neither here nor there, right? I still need to read the comics with all the Shattered Grid hype. Yeah, Shattered Grid's pretty good. I don't think it's as good as a lot of people think it is, but it's still pretty good. It's definitely epic for Power Rangers. I almost caught up with Shattered Grid, so I think I have one more issue to catch up with Power Rangers. Oh, God. What's next? Let's see. Spider-Man 3 does not exist. Can't wait for the real Venom. Dude, Tom Hardy as Venom looks savage. Savage as all hell. And I don't necessarily care about the Venom movie at first, but then when I saw the trailer and then I saw the other trailer, I said, you know what? Your boy's gonna have to watch this because it looks pretty good, and I like Venom as a character. I don't know why I haven't gotten more into him. He's a great product of the '90s too. So, next message. I heard Tom Holland wants Toby to play Uncle Ben in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Is that for real? That's pretty crazy. I would totally be on board for that. I mean, he is like 92 years old, so it works. My favorite Harry Potter movie is still definitely Hollows Part 2. You know, with the headache that they had to deal with the Deathly Hallows books, they did a pretty good job at interpreting it to the movies, so I'm cool with that. Actually, the Harry Potter movies aren't bad. They're actually some of the best interpretation of books. It's just the fourth one changes so much, it ticks me off. I have since lost a lot of the details of the books, so I can kind of go into it and remember, but I'm trying to think of I know the gillyweed, wasn't that one of the things they changed that bugged me, and then I forget what the rest was. It's been a while. It's been a couple years. My son wasn't even born last time I watched Harry Potter, so it's been at least 3 years. I think my wife and I were still at our apartment, so yeah. But I am looking forward to that Fantastic Beast. We didn't talk about that in the last live chat for Comic-Con. It looks pretty good. Albus Dumbledore looks good. fucking Johnny Depp looks cool. He doesn't look silly. Like, I know it's still the same look, but it's not as bad. It's actually looks well, so that makes sense. I don't know. He just looked pudgy in the last one. In the book, Dobby was a major part of the Goblet of Fire. That's right. The house elves were a big thing too. And didn't Crom like take out the Minister of Magic or something in the movie? I love you, dude. You are cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like to think I'm cool. Maybe. At least I hope my wife thinks I'm cool. Actually, she thinks I'm a dork, but it's all good. But yeah, I completely forgot. House elves were a huge thing in the books, and they never really showed up in the movies. But hey, shit happens. So yeah, what do you guys want to talk about in general? I know you guys have some questions you want to throw out, but is there anything in particular? Do you want me to go over kind of stuff I did at Comic-Con, like some of the stuff I talked to with creators, or do you want to just go on a tangent about something, about movies or the comics or whatever? Just throw something out there. I'm all ready for it. I do want to do a review of Digimon Try. Have you guys, raise your hand if you're a Digimon fan? Please raise your hand, because I got back into Digimon Try and I got back in pretty hard. What's my favorite sci-fi franchise? No denying it is Star Trek. It used to be Star Wars. You never seen Digimon? Ooh. Digimon, right? This is the thing about Digimon that's great. And I'm going to go back to Star Trek in a second. Digimon is great because it does a few things really well, right? There's a bunch of series, but really the big series is Digimon Adventure 1 and 2, which is season 1 and 2. And really Adventure 1, which is important. Digimon is a show geared towards kids, but it does some stuff so well that you wouldn't expect from a kids show. It tells very epic tales. Characters die. There's themes in it that you wouldn't expect. Like, they talk about divorce in it. They talk about broken families. They talk about one of the characters is adopted and you don't realize it until halfway through the series. He doesn't even realize it. Like, it deals with a bunch of mature content. And it just has such an epic scope for its telling. And here's the cool thing, right? When you get to Try, right, season 1 is, of course, about the first kids, the Digidestined, the original 8. Season 2 is about the second ones, and the original 8 kind of pop in every once in a while. The 2 youngest are regulars. And then Try goes back to the original 8, and it does such a good job at hitting you with nostalgia, but making the characters feel like they've grown up. And one of the things they do that is that the characters grow up and they go through their angst, but the Digimon stay the same. And it works so well at getting you that nostalgia. So, like, if I could sell you anything, watch Digimon. It's aged pretty well. Hi, will you do your new timeline video? I have done my new Batman timeline video. It's over on Patreon though, so you have to hop skip over to there to go watch it. Back to my favorite sci-fi franchise, right? Star Trek is definitely my favorite now. It used to be Star Wars when I was younger. Since then, I think 2 things have happened. One is I do not like how they handled the Star Wars franchise since going to Disney. That's just me personally. I get it. I'm not everyone else. I'm not going to bitch and moan about it. It's just a simple fact that those movies aren't made for me anymore. And Star Trek is that adventure, that new culture, that explore new worlds, that concept about morality and what it means to be a human and all that stuff. That's really kind of the cool thing about Star Trek that I love. So, let's see. Any truth behind Patrick Stewart and the Enterprise are making a return rumor? They're not rumor anymore. It's confirmed. Patrick Stewart is returning to a Captain Picard-centric show, but we don't know any details. Patrick Stewart came out for the Las Vegas Comic-Con. At the end of it, he said that he was offered to come back for the TV show, and he said no. And then they made him an offer he couldn't refuse, and he said no. And then they made him another offer, and he said yes. But the reason is because he started rewatching a lot of Star Trek, some stuff that he hasn't even watched from Next Generation before, and he realized how important those characters were for people. And he said, in the climate that the world is today, it would be nice to have that back. So he said, I'm going to be coming back. Picard's going to be coming back, but he may not come back as captain. He may come back as something else. So maybe an admiral. Maybe he'll come back as a wine vineyard guy. Maybe it will be almost like got best of both worlds. All good things. Jeez. But it'll be pretty cool when he comes back. So yeah. Um, let's see. But yeah, if you haven't listen, Hayden, if you haven't seen Digimon, try. I strongly recommend it. It does a really good service for all the characters. It's not super tie and matte heavy. It does a good job with all the characters. So, so yeah. Um, what else is going on? I'm thinking about. Side note, and I want you guys' opinion on this. So I've been thinking about with the return of the Hush costume or the year one costume, whatever, the black trunk costume, right? This costume that we all know well. Would you guys want me to do a history of or a mapping of what is in continuity for Batman's costumes? Because I've been thinking about that, right? With Rebirth and New 52 and old elements come back in, but new elements still being in, like, it's kind of confusing on what costumes he wore when. And talking to Tom King and some of the tweets by Scott Snyder and talking to Jeff Johns. I mean, would that be a video that you guys are interested in? Or do people not care about costumes like I do? I think I care about costumes more than I should. I, I think I put more credence into them than I think other people do. But I clearly love the spread of costumes, right? And New 52 being my favorite costume thus far. I think it's probably the most practical of Batman's costumes. I still need to catch up on a lot of anime stuff. Only recently saw the newest Pokemon movie. Is that the new one where Pikachu talks in? I haven't seen it yet. I have not been on the Pokemon anime forever. I play the games to no end. I love the games. I'm actually replaying Black and White 2, but I haven't watched the anime in the longest time. But I heard that the X and Y series was really good, and I heard that the new movie's good, even though it's different continuity. Um, so you do love all the Bastards. Good. What is your particular favorite? I'm asking you the question now. Uh, I'm kind of happy. I hated the Rebirth suit. I really do. So I'm glad they got rid of it. Even though we're not going back to New 52, I think they should go back to New 52. But they're going back to the underwear suit. Again, every creator's calling it the Hush suit. Tom King called it the Hush suit. Scott Snyder called it the Hush suit. Tony Daniels calling it the Hush suit. So everyone's calling it the Hush suit. But I mean, Batman's had it before, so I don't before Hush. So I don't know. And even though like when they introduced the suit, like if you look at geez, why am I pulling out the comic? I have the comic right here because I just did that love interest of Batman thing. If you look at the Hush suit, like yeah, I get it, but the Hush suit is blue and gray. It's not the black and gray variant. So, god damn, I love this fucking book. It's amazing. Um, love it to death. But I will still say New 52, practicality wise, I don't think Batman needs the underwear. It's not the first time he's gone without underwear. Back in the 90s, he had that kind of really, really dark gray suit that almost looked like a black suit. So, any suit that doesn't have nipples, please. There's some charm to the nipple suit. Where's the nipple suit? I think it's right here. If you guys haven't noticed, like this is the movie section, right? There's no nipples on that though. This is this should have nipples, but it doesn't. I'm gonna slide you back in there. God, I love those figures. They were cheesy as fuck, but love them. I know I missed a few comments. Let me go back. Being a Buffy and Angel fan, did you try to get the original Vampire, get into the originals or Vampire Diaries? I have not, and it's not from any dislike for it. My friend, who is also a Buffy and Angel fan, got into the Vampire Diaries, but I never really did just because of time. Never have time for anything, right? I'm still behind on Black Lightning. I need to catch up on that before the new seasons come out. So, but I'd be willing to give them a shot maybe later in life. Let's see. The Batman Who Laughs versus Lord Dracon. Who wins? Well, that's tough. Whew. I mean, Lord Dracon at this point has all the powers thrown together. Um, but Man Who Laughs Batman is like pretty overpowered himself. That's a tough one. Let's do it. Tommy is nowhere near as skilled as Batman as a fighter, right? But I would say all the Power Ranger powers are more powerful than anything that. Ooh. I would still go with the Batman Who Laughs because two reasons. One is he's a lot more unpredictable and a lot more dangerous than normal Batman. And normal Batman was able to hold his own against the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in that crossover. So it comes to theorize that he'd at least be able to hold his own against evil Tommy. So, sorry, where can I find your new Batman timeline video game? Is it video again? Is it somewhere else on your YouTube channel? I would love to watch it. So yeah, hold on one second. There we go. So if you want to watch my timeline videos, for now on, my timeline videos are going to be over on Patreon. The links are usually down below in all my videos, except for this one because it's a live video, so I don't think it has the description or a link in there. Patreon is a site which you can support creators and you get exclusive content. So going forward, all my movie reviews and timeline reviews and other various stuff are going to be exclusive to Patreon. So that's one of the things that is. So if you need to go find the Batman timeline video, you go over there. Best and worst Batman movie. Okay, right? Is this what I think is the best or what is critically the best? Because I think a lot of people think The Dark Knight is critically the best. Which it kind of is the best. Okay. I mean, that's not really that hard, right? Because, like, Batman and Robin is clearly the worst. Like, even though at this point it kind of has a campy charm to it, being older, I can kind of accept it for what it is. It's still not a good movie. Dark Knight is a freaking fantastic film. I like Begins a little bit more, but Dark Knight is good. Okay, so if we're going by my opinion, if I look at all the films, um, whoops, there goes the butterbeer. If I'm looking at all the films, right, it's tough for me to say what my number one favorite is because I like certain elements of it. And I know a lot of people are going to throw shade at me for this. Begins is a close second, but I actually like Batman '89 a lot because I felt like, although I did not care for Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne, I don't think he looked like Bruce Wayne. He didn't have the playboyish good looks. His Batman felt the closest to Batman and the most true to the character, minus the fact he killed a lot of people. But I love Batman Begins too because, I mean, he doesn't kill anyone. He's pretty good, and it's a fucking amazing film with a lot of emotion to it. Do I like Affleck's Batman? Yes, I do like it. I like how he looks. I like how he moves. I like how he fights. I don't care for the fact he kills. That's really my big problem with that. But he was never in a Batman film. He was in a DC Universe film, Batman v Superman. Hellbat armor versus Iron Man armor. So that's a loaded question, and this is going to be tough for me to answer because I don't know Iron Man's armors all that well. I know Extremis is incredibly powerful, but the Hellbat armor was able to go toe-to-toe with Darkseid. And it was also made to go toe-to-toe with the Justice League if necessary. So I can't answer that fully because I don't know Tony's armor's capabilities that much, but even then, like, I would still give it to Hellbat. I don't know. Hellbat armor is probably more powerful, right? And even though I think Bruce is a more skilled tactician, I think he doesn't have the experience in the armors as much as Iron Man does. So I think Iron Man would have the edge because he would be able to basically kill time while the Hellbat armor kills Bruce because it does consume your life force. So I guess based off my limited knowledge of Iron Man, I guess him, but I really want to lean towards Hellbat because Hellbat is freaking broken. It's a good armor. It just kills you, kind of. But yeah. But back to Affleck's Batman. I'm perfectly fine with him. I thought he was great in Batman v Superman. I don't care for the whole Martha thing. I think a lot of people don't, and him killing bothers the fuck out of me. But here's how you fix that, right? Not the killing part. You can't fix that. He blatantly killed people. But here's how you fix the Martha thing. The whole entire fight shouldn't have been predicated on Superman's mother being captured, right? It should have been. They could have so tore this from the comic books. It should have been Lex Luthor having some kind of Congress or presidential power, if you want to go that route, and just ordered Superman to take Batman in. And then at the end of the fight, right? Instead of you going, Martha, who's Martha? Ah! He could just be like, listen, I'm going to tell you this once. I want you to stay out of my way. But most importantly, in all your years to come, and all your private moments, I want you to remember the one man who beat you. Like, I think that would have been a great way to end the fight. And then an explosion goes off and Doomsday is released, and then they can kind of super friend it. But yeah, I agree with you. Minus the killing, like Batfleck, I was on board with them. I'm making the centerpiece of my movie figures, right? You guys want to see the wall? I can show it to you. My room is kind of a mess, though. I've been doing a little rearranging, especially with Comic Con. I've let me flip it around. Boom. I put my comics behind there, my boxes, so I had to move that out, and that means I had to take down posters and everything. So there's a lot of cleaning up to do, but it's a comic wall. Oh, and I didn't get, should show you. I do actually have a couple of Marvel figures here. Might as well show them off. This Captain America corner, right? And then I love this armor that Iron Man had, the modular armor. Do I got you guys? Someone type something because my phone just completely glitched out on me. Someone sent a text, something saying hello, so I know everyone's there. Okay, so should DC bring back Elseworld stories? They kind of are with the Black Label, right? I think the Black Label stuff is set in Elseworlds. But yeah, it would be kind of cool. What's up? What's happening? Sorry, I think I glitched out there. But I'm back, so... yeah, it would be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind them doing Golden Age stuff too, or seeing. I would like them to go back and do Kingdom Come, maybe another Kingdom Come thing. They've been doing the Dark Knight, so I mean, Dark Knight 3 was Elseworlds technically. I mean, and I know a lot of people are going to harp on me about this because this is kind of a big debate, but I mean, Batman Beyond is technically Elseworlds. It's set in an alternate future. It's set in the mainstream DC universe future, but branched off. So it's not what the actual future is going to be, but it's set in the DC universe alternate future, another world. I just finished reading Batman New 52 comics. Which Batman comics would you say are worth it reading from the new DC Rebirth line? Detective Comics and Batman. If we're talking straight everything Batman, Batwoman is pretty good, but you have to be a real big fan to enjoy her. Nightwing has been really good. I would say those four: Nightwing, Batwoman, Batman, and Detective Comics. Those four are really the grabs. If we want individual graphic novels, all of them. Did I get the giant size Walmart? No, I did not. Is that what the question was? Let me pull it back up. Did you ever buy those Walmart giant size books? I did not. I didn't care to. I had no motivation to, so I just didn't bother. I know there was a lot of controversy with them, but I didn't care enough. Plus, there's no real Walmarts near me. There's one near where my in-laws live, but I'm not going to go out of my way for it. So, yeah. What else? Throw something else at me. Hit me with your best shot. Oh, side note, I've got into the office, so that's the thing. We can talk about that later. Wolverine's hold on. That question about Wolverine just disappeared. Wolverine favorite Marvel character tied with Cap. You know what? For a while, Captain America was my favorite Marvel character, but before him, Wolverine was my favorite Marvel character, and he's starting to become my favorite again. So I think right now Wolverine is my favorite and Captain's my second. Not sure. Wolverine, right? Who should play Wolverine in the MCU movie? The MCU. I have no idea who should play him. I don't know actors well enough. Yeah. No idea. Someone short. So, Charlie Hunnam. I don't know who that is. Probably should. But yeah, I have no idea. But in saying this, this is going to sound terrible. But Wolverine to me, hey, what's happening, Ronan? Um, Wolverine to me is like a beautiful, attractive woman, right? Blonde hair, gray body, beautiful face. That's what Wolverine is. Cool costume, anti-hero persona, claws coming out of his hand. There's just something primal and instinct that makes him such an appealing character. And Captain's all great and all, but I think I'm still butthurt from Hydra Captain. I think that's what made him drop a bit on my list. But it would be cool to see the X-Men in the MCU. I love your action figures and comic books insight. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I probably have too much insight, but thank you, Andrew. Congrats on the new baby. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. I think I hear him right now, causing some trouble keeping Mama awake. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you, everyone, for the kind word. Thank you for everyone that's said congratulations. You guys don't have to go out of your way to say it, but it was really nice. Kids are the best. But I have no idea who should play Wolverine in the MCU. But I would love to see X-Men in it. I would love to see, like, the giant-sized X-Men, like Colossus, Nightcrawler, Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Wolverine. How do you watch any... how do you watch any other anime besides Dragon Ball Z? Oh, have I watched any anime other than Dragon Ball Z? So Dragon Ball Z, I've watched all of. I'm a big fan of Cowboy Bebop. I've watched all that. Blood Plus was really my first commitment into, I want to say, anime. Like Dragon Ball Z is anime, but it's really anime light, if that makes sense. It's very Americanized anime, kind of. I don't know. Blood Plus, I got into that. So Escaflownes, I got into that, which has some of the most ridiculous things in it, like "Don't attack him, he's my sister." Like some great quotes and intensified luck soldiers, and the main villain being who you would never expect. But I have watched quite a bit of anime. Those are really my things. Everyone's talking about this anime called yeah, so I might get into that. Who knows? And of course, Sailor Moon back when I was a little younger. So let's check the chat. What do I think of Infinity War, the movie? I haven't watched it yet. I'll tell you that. I'm going to do a review of it later. Let's see. Boom. What's your favorite Batman figure you have? It would be the Justice League New 52 Batman figure, done by Jim Lee. Well, the art is done by Jim Lee, but this is, for me, the best Batman figure. It is gorgeous as all hell. Poop. Whatever you want to say. Gently put that back to where it belongs. So much so that I got it signed by Jim Lee. So yeah. Let's hit up another. I really wish my computer would work on this. Let's see. If you could, how would you fix the DC Universe movies? I mean, I know a lot of people said that the DC Universe movies are broken, but they're not terrible. Like, they're really not. Like, Justice League was a mess. It was a hot mess. And Batman v Superman was kind of... I mean, there were big things that was wrong with that, but the tone and the direction wasn't that bad. But Suicide Squad, I mean, all they had to do was have Joker be the villain, be the main villain. But Wonder Woman was great. Man of Steel was great. I mean, Aquaman and Shazam look like they're going to be good. So I think they're doing okay right now. What I think they should do is focus on things other than Batman and Superman. Maybe give Superman another film, right? But I think they should... You know what they really should do? They should just not worry about it being connected. Don't do what Marvel's doing, because Marvel's doing it really well, and anything you do is just not going to work, right? DC's comics movies were doing so well when they were just their own thing. The Dark Knight trilogy does not mention Superman at all. It barely mentions Robin. So, but it's the... I think pound for pound, I think everyone considers it the best movie of all time, a movie series, the Nolan movie series. So that's what I would do to fix it. Moving on to the next question. You were literally watching this morning. It's a great anime. It's so silly, but great. What if Batman appears on Arrow, but not as Batman, but as Bruce Wayne, but as Matches Malone for an episode going undercover for Underworld Star City? I like the fact that they mentioned Batman. I love the fact that he shows up in exists in the Arrowverse, but he's never going to show up. That character is saved for movies only. I'm surprised they showed Superman, but you really can't have a Supergirl film without Superman or a Supergirl TV show. Although, to be fair, it's tough to have a Batwoman TV show without at least mentioning Batman. So, but it would be cool to see Bruce show up. Or even a character just as, yeah, you know what you said, right? Matches Malone, have him have a baller hat on and glasses and cheesy mustache and toothpick, and you don't even need to have the actor be who you want Bruce Wayne to be. You can just be him in makeup. So you know what? You make a good point. I retract my statement. You're smarter than me. Low battery mode. Have you watched Naruto? I have watched Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Come back. And One Punch Man. Um, I want to watch One Piece. I heard it's incredibly long. So is Naruto and Bleach. I heard good things about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So we'll see. I am looking to get into a new anime. Ghost in the Shell. That's another one I watch. So yeah. What are your thoughts on Kelly Sue DeConnick take on Aquaman after Dan Abnett leaves? She hasn't started writing it, has it? Because we're still on the Suicide Squad story, right? I won't judge her until she actually writes a comic, but I'm interested. It's interesting why they would want to change writers now with the movie coming out. I figured they would want to stay safe with Dan, or maybe his contract's up. Who knows? Um, Hey, just arrived. Have you played Hollow Knight? No, but I plan to at some point. What is your favorite DC Universe animated home video? Justice League New Frontier, without a doubt. Although a couple things come close to it. I still have to watch Death of Superman. Batman will probably do the same as Titans and F bomb Batman. That would be funny. And Batwoman has every right to do it too. Um, should check out Devilman Crybaby. The art is a bit weird, but it's an amazing anime. I will have to check it out. There's a lot of anime that I really want to get into, and I kind of want to get into manga, but reading backwards is just too much for me. So, weren't they supposed to have some kind of DC live thing with Kevin Smith tonight? Should have probably thought of that. Do you think Jon Stewart, the host of the Daily Show, has been told that the same name of Green Lantern the same has? So, do you think Jon Stewart knows that there's a Jon Stewart Green Lantern? I think he does. I don't know, but I think so. I know you love Octopath Traveler. What do you think about it? Do you recommend it to someone who hasn't played many turn-based RPGs? Yes, I absolutely do. The great thing about Octopath Traveler is it is as hardcore as you want it to be, right? It is difficult, but it's not complicated, right? The game mechanic system is addictive and it's straightforward, and the great thing about it is you can play as much as you want. You can casually jump in, play a couple hours, and go from there. The grinding isn't bad in it. Like, I hate grinding, and the grinding in Octopath is not bad. You may spend out of your 30 hours playing the game, 3 of it grinding. And not just that, like, if you wanted to just play one character story, you can just play one character story, and that's it. But Octopath is fantastic. And if you haven't played many JRPGs, jump in. Like, I played a lot of JRPGs, but I haven't played a lot recently. Like, I've played a lot of everything. I like to think I'm a relative expert in almost all games except for sports games. The only sports games I ever fucking touch is ones with Mario's in it. So unless it has a flat Italian plumber in it going, "It's me, Mario," I played only those sports games, but I feel like I'm proficient in most. But JRPGs, I don't really go into that much, and Octopath was a delight. I think Pokemon's the only JRPG I'm dedicated to. It's been a while since I played a Final Fantasy. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it is what it is. Let's see. I'm primarily a PlayStation gamer. I have not owned a Nintendo system since GameCube, but I'm highly considering the Switch for Octopath Traveler. It looks really good. You know what? The Switch has turned into, and it's turning into like an indie, like renaissance and a JRPG renaissance for the Switch. I recommend getting it just for the options on JRPG games and indie games, but regular games too. The Switch has been fantastic. Which Switch games do I own beside Octopath? Well, let's get the list going, shall we? You know, let's walk over. Let's switch this over. Sorry, as you can see, things are a bit of a mess. This is one of my Nintendo sections, right? I have a lot of things here, but let's take a look at the games. This is my game list down right now, and this is not counting DLC games like Fortnite or Celeste, right? So Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart, Splatoon, ARMS, Batman Telltale games, Resident Evil Revelations, Sonic Forces, Sonic Mania Plus, Mega Man X Collection, Street Fighter 30th Anniversary, Street Fighter, The Final Challenge, Elder Scrolls, Octopath, and The Binding of Isaac. And again, that does not count DLC games. So like Fortnite, Celeste, what is it called? The Steam World Dig. Although I haven't played through that, I haven't touched that yet. I have to touch that next. So those are the Switch games I have out right now. If I had more money, I'd buy more. If I had more time. Thoughts on Batman getting back to his black trunks in Detective Comics 1000? Whoops. Peter J. Tomasi will begin writing at issue 1001. What? When did that happen? Are you laying, Nick? Are you laying some knowledge on me? I didn't know. I didn't know Tomasi was jumping on 1001. I rather he go back. I don't think Batman should have underwear. Right? It looks silly. I'm okay with it with Superman for some reason, but Batman with it just looks silly. Again, I wish it was New 52, but it's still 1,000 times better than the Rebirth costume. The Rebirth costume with this parting of the cape here looks silly as all hell, and the purple is just it's a mesh of colors that don't work together. Gray, purple, and yellow with black. But I'm okay with it because it's better than Rebirth. Still, I want New 52 back. Let's see. Which Pokemon Let's Go game are you interested in? I'm getting both of them, but I'm getting Pikachu first. Because Pika Pika, he's my Pika Pal. Although I love Eevee and Evolutions. Like, I'm actually kind of torn, but you can't evolve the Eevee, so fuck him. Pikachu's my man. Like, it's funny because I used to hate Rage Pikachu because he was the main character of the series, but, like, I'm cool with him now. I have a list. Like, I'll pull it up. Do I even have it on this computer or do I have it on the other one? I think it's on the other one. Let's check. Maybe it's on this computer. Look at this, guys. Let me whip something out for you, right? You guys are gonna be absolutely baffled by the fact that I have this. Hold on 1 second. Oh no. I don't have it on this computer. I'll have to show you on my other computer sometime. I have a document that lists every single Pokemon team from every game I have saved over there, with the exception of Black and White 2, because I'm playing White 2 over again, and Platinum because I don't have it. But everything on there, and I've actually used Pikachu multiple times on it, which is funny. So it's going to be interesting going back to him again. Let's go back again. Andrew, let's see. Are we getting Flashpoint fatigue with the anime film, the TV movie, and live action? I would say no. I would say the TV didn't do it all that well. So that's why I'm okay with the film coming in. The animated film was necessary for them to create this new animated universe. The comic is what it is. It's been 7 years since we had the comic, so I would like to see a live action. So I'm not fatigued. If you are, I'm sorry, but I'm okay with it. But I think it's probably one. I think it's the biggest Flash story, or one of them. So I think it's reasonable that they go back to it, kind of like Year One or Nightfall or anything else for Batman. Nice collection. I only have Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Hollow Knight. What do you think of ARMS? I like the concept of ARMS, but I didn't get into it. it just didn't grab me enough. Being a huge Resident Evil fan, how hyped are you for the remakes? And are you like other Resident Evil purists who are mad that no tank controls? No, I'm not mad like a lot of purists are. I think it's cool that they're going back to Resident Evil 2, but I question. This is okay. This is the thing that bothered me. The only Resident Evil game I haven't played is 7, by the way. Just so you know, I haven't touched into that yet. I'll probably deal with that a little bit later. But I don't like the tank controls. I know a lot of people like it adds to the atmosphere, but I also don't like it being overly action based. I think Revelations, and I think Resident Evil 4 was the perfect Resident Evil. I think it's the best Resident Evil. It's my favorite Resident Evil. And I think it handles itself so very well with how the controls should be, because although they're not tanky, they're not. It's not like you're doing fucking cartwheels. Well, you are kind of at one point, but it's not like you're the most. It's not like you're Super Saiyan. You're flying around like crazy. You're still like, I remember that scene when you have to do the cranks in that room where monsters keep on coming down. You have to protect Ashley, and like I remember that game had a lot of challenge to it, and it didn't have to have the tank controls. My problem with Resident Evil right now is the fact that Resident Evil sets itself as a set date, right? So Leon S. Kennedy's in his 40s now. Like, fucking Chris is pushing 50. Like, it would be nice if they just didn't have dates for this. That'd be cool with them just continuing with the characters. But that's just a small bother. That's why I think they're going back. Let me scroll down. Nick, let's see. There was an article that Tameshi is taking over for the Right Detective Comics out last month. I didn't know that, but I'm super excited for that. Tomeshi, I got to meet him again. He's a fucking amazing. I love all the work he does. I would love WB to make a Frank Miller Dark Knight trilogy adaptation with Zack Snyder behind the camera. They could fix Dark Knight Strikes Again a little. Is there any chance that the movie adaptation that you would like to see? I don't care to see the live action Dark Knight Returns, and that's because the animated Dark Knight Returns film does enough for me. I mean, to a degree, Batman v Superman is Dark Knight Return to a degree. But that's actually something I do have fatigue on. I like Dark Knight Return. I think it's shown too much, right? I think it's adapted too much. But I think the animated films do a superb job at showing them. And they're actually some of my favorite animated films. I wouldn't mind seeing sequels of that for Strikes Again and Dark Knight 3. I own but haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 yet. Are you interested in the Xenoblade series? I've played Xenoblade Chronicles 1 for the Wii, and that it's a gorgeous, fucking fantastic game with a great story and a great ending. But I have no intention to pick up another Xeno game. I dumped 80 hours into that game. I can't dump 80 hours of my life into any other game that doesn't have The Legend of in front of it. I just don't have time with 2 kids. I'm surprised I'm getting away with this much time on the Q&A. My wife or my kid hasn't freaked out at me yet. But yeah. Let's see. Have you ever met Neil Adams at Comic-Con? I have. About maybe 5-6 years ago, I got my Legends, my Tales of the Demon trade signed by, which is over in the corner there. But I haven't really had any irkling to meet him again. He seemed like a cool guy, but yeah. What if it was called Legend of Halo? Would you play that? Maybe. Maybe. Not 60 hours, though. I've seen him 4 times, and I've met Peter J. Tameshi, too. I've met Tameshi twice. What's your favorite comic cover of all time? Let's see. Well, pull up Google. Ready? Because we're going to... Actually, you know what? I have them over here. Give me 1 second. What do I keep on stepping on? So, I've been pretty fortunate to have my favorite comics signed already. So, I have 3 favorite covers. First would be the New 52 issue 2 variant cover of Batman. Gorgeous. Got this signed by Jim Lee, Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. And no, this is not me just showing off my comic covers. I mean, it should be, but it's not. The next would be Batman issue 608. I think this cover is just gorgeous. Got this signed by Jim Lee. Batman just kind of kicking and flying. And then I am a big fan of the New 52 Justice League cover, right? I think this cover is absolutely gorgeous too. As you can see, all three of them were done by Jim Lee. So I think if you guys haven't noticed, I like Jim Lee a lot. So, but the Batman issue 24 cover is pretty good. It's among, as well as other things. So I'm going to just put those back in there. Let's go back. And let's take a few more questions, and I'm probably going to have to go back down and help out with the lady. What is my favorite comedy TV show? That's a tough one. Frasier is probably one of them. I'm going to go with sitcoms. Frasier's probably one of them. I fucking love that show. And then I just got into The Office. We're on season 3. That show is really great. A Big Bang Theory I thought was really good in the early seasons, kind of fell apart towards the end. And if we're talking about outside of live action, I mean, of course, Simpsons, Family Guy, South Park, Rick and Morty. Oh my God, Rick and Morty. So good. So yeah, those are some of my favorites. Along with Chuck Dixon, Matthew Rosenberg, writer of The Punisher, Frank David, Peter David, Scott Liddell, the Finches, Kyle Higgins, and Fabian. Nick, what are you throwing at me? You just throwing at me at cool people that you've met? Let's see, Legend of Pokemon, Xenoblade, Zelda of the Wild. That's Sam. That's an aggressive name. That's an aggressive name. But you know what? I'd be cool with Link flying a Charizard. Which characters would you want to see in Suicide 2 team? So if they make a sequel of Suicide Squad, what their team lineup should be. Deadshot is an obvious. I'm cool if Katana comes back. I'm cool, obviously, if Harley Quinn comes back. Screw the Enchantress. Nothing against her. I just don't care for the Enchantress. I would like Catman to be in there. I think that would be cool. Have Bane be in there. I think that would be pretty cool. Black Manta would be awesome. And Deathstroke. Those are some of the comic creators that you met. Well, those are a pretty good list. You met Chuck Dixon. I'm jealous. Chuck Dixon is like part of the holy trinity of Batman writers. So I'll take like 2 or 3 more questions, and then I'm going to go take care of the kid and get ready for work tomorrow. So if you guys want to throw anything out, please do. Because I hear my kid downstairs. Scandal Savage, yeah, throw him in there. Why not? Not my first pick, but hey, why not? You met Chuck Dixon twice. Now you're just measuring your cock, right? Now you're just showing it off. Monday suck, they do, especially when you're severely understaffed. One of my employees got promoted to assistant manager, so I'm losing him indefinitely. And my assistant manager is going on a 2-week vacation, so I run 4 branches. It's tough to run 4 branches with just 4 employees. Current best non-Batman book. Flash, Silencer, best Batman non-Batman. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And yeah, that's what comes off the top of my head. And Deathstroke. Those I think are the best outside of Batman right now going forward. I met his daughter, not Vandal. Yeah, no, I know. Did I say Vandal? Not Scandal? Sorry. Favorite Image comic. I don't read enough Image, so I don't have one. So I won't count that as a question because I didn't give you an answer. At least not a good one. Don't say where, but what do you do for a living? Oh, I mean, I have no problem saying it. I am a flagship branch manager at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I run 4 branches in Massachusetts. So if you're ever in Mass, you can rent a car with me. But I'm particularly lucky because my branch is the largest branch. Usually people run maybe 1, maybe 2 branches, like a satellite branch. I have 1 branch and 3 satellites, and one of them is the biggest dealership satellite in Mass. So Yeah, I have no problem saying I rent cars. I'm like Step Brothers at the end of the film, where yeah, Enterprise has a great career path, but it's done as a job. It's done me well. Like I have a house, I'm able to support my wife without her going to work. I mean, I'm able to support my kids, and I've been promoted multiple times. So next spot is an area manager spot, hopefully, and go from there. So yeah, that's my job. I also met the guy who drew the first Red Hulk and Hulk Volume 2 #1. Pretty awesome. I'll take one more question because my battery is coming out. So Thanos, Goku, Superman team up against Batfam. Do they stand a chance? Does Batfam stand a chance? Of course they do. If they have all their equipment and items, Batfam definitely stands a chance. Let's just look at the last comic. Which Batman writer besides Chuck Dixon have you not met? I met Grant Morrison. I have not met Dennis O'Neil. I would like to meet Jeff Loeb so I can get that signed by him. But yeah, I met most of them. So, but yeah, I think that's going to be enough time. I'm going to go downstairs to my son goodnight. Help my wife with our other son because he's probably going to be freaking out and crazy and crying, and go watch some of The Office before I have to actually go to the office. Enterprise. So I hope you guys had fun. Please let me know if you did. I enjoy doing this. I thought this was a little bit more successful this time, a little bit more tuned, a little easier stream. Like I felt like last time was kind of like a choppy Batman issue, but I felt like this time I was a little bit more Grant Morrissey. So, good night to you too, Sam. I appreciate it. If you guys want to do this as a monthly thing, please let me know. Hayden, thank you. Good night to you too. If you guys, like I said, let me know. Throw some comments, text. A couple things real quickly before I go. I will have, let's just talk. I'll probably have my Comic Load video up late this week, so maybe either Monday or Tuesday I'll have it up, talking about this week's in comics. Can you give me some when you get a chance for your YouTube channel? Yeah, I'll take a look. Definitely, of course, Nick. It is 10 a.m. where I am. Well, in Japan. Are you in Japan? So, good morning. Okay. Sorry, Adam. Have fun at work. But a couple things. So I'll probably get the Comic Load video out later on this week. I'm going to be watching and reviewing Death of Superman. That's going to be on Patreon, right? And my Digimon Adventure Tribe video, I'm going to do a review of that also. And then I'm going to be jumping into some Batman trades I'm going to be reviewing, but I'm also going to be hitting up some Nightwing. So I want to get into the Rebirth Nightwing stuff and kind of talk about that because I have some pretty strong opinions about it too. And as you see, I trickled a little bit of Marvel into the channel, but I don't think people are as clicking with the Marvel stuff as they do with the DC stuff, which makes sense because I'm primarily known for DC. That's my bread and butter, so I'll stick to that. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, if there's anything you think I can do to improve on the channel, if you guys enjoy doing these videos, please let me know. I'm probably going to schedule another Q&A video for next month. So I hope you guys have all a good night. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. And live long and prosper. No, that's a bad send-off. How about just peace out for now?